Welcome to Fox Valley Today. My name is Anne Vickery. I'm your host, and it's happy and it's Valentine's Day. But I got up this morning thinking it was St. Patrick's Day. Obviously, I just couldn't quite get that in my head. And my guest this morning is Joanne Britton. She's a University of Illinois Extension educator. Joanne is a frequent guest of ours. She's one of those science, math, technology people, and has been very active in the STEM program. I guess now they call it STEAM, right?
Right, they've added art.
Mm-hmm. Science, technology, engineering, art, and math.
Correct.
Right, and that, it's just amazing, isn't it, what these kids can do anymore?
Absolutely.
Not to digress, but my one granddaughter, she's in 8th grade in Northfield, so she'll be entering the freshman academy at New Trier next year. And she called me the other night and told me how high she had scored on the science, math, and engineering part of the testing, and got accepted into all the honors classes for that. So wow. I'm really excited for her because she's always been kind of a math wizard. And I'm glad to see that the 4-H reaches out to kind of add to what these kids sometimes. 4-H really helps kids with their imaginations, doesn't it?
It does. We definitely promote imagination and working, being creative, being able to present and to speak to people because of the wonderful public presentation type things that we do. And it helps them in all aspects of life. And
right.
They're the ones that can go to an interview for a job and actually answer good questions and know how to speak to an
right.
adult.
That's right. And I have been fortunate enough to be able to be a judge now and then for the 4-H King and Queen. Why they picked me to be a judge, I'll never know. But it's amazing how well those kids do. They sit up straight, they look you in the eye, they talk confidently. I think 4-H really does a great job for some of that.
It definitely does.
So let's talk a little bit about, you have your community science fair coming up.
Correct.
So let's talk a little bit about that and how people might get their child involved.
This is going to be our first attempt at having a community science fair. It was really kind of a reaction to some of the schools not having a science fair anymore. So we decided we would work with Parkview Christian Academy. We've partnered with them, and they're graciously letting us use their building and working with us to promote this community science fair. It's for kids from 4th grade through high school. There'll be different categories based on the grade level. So 4th through 6th grade will be one group. 4th through 5th grade. Mm-hmm. 6th through 8th will be our middle school group, and of course 9 through 12 will be our high school group. Mm-hmm. We're encouraging kids to come up with an idea for an experiment, use the scientific method, and make a project board to explain to a judge. They'll get to speak right to a science fair judge and talk about their experiment and how they use the scientific method, why it would be an important thing to know about. Mm-hmm. And we just encourage them to discover something new.
And it's not always sometimes that the experiment works, but sometimes it's the path to learning how it might work better the next time or how you can improve on it.
Exactly. That's the learning process is the actual process of using the
right.
scientific method. And judges will ask questions similar to what you just said. If you did this again, what would you do differently?
Right. Did you think of anything that you might have done? I think about that almost. I think about that almost after every program I do, Joey.
Right, it's a life lesson. So the process will be it'll be a kind of an ongoing 3-day thing because once the kids register, they'll get a packet with all of the information about how to do the project. They will be bringing their projects in I guess that would be the 3rd week in April. And they then on Thursday or Wednesday night, they'll be judged by the judges. And then on Thursday night, we'll have an actual science fair event where mm-hmm. we're going to have people coming from all over. And 4-H members will be doing some hands-on activities. Some of the Parkview Christian students will be doing some hands-on activities. There'll be an award ceremony. We have some fun awards for the kids. They'll get an award for a catchy title mm-hmm. or the best project display board. In addition to earning 4-H ribbons for their work, red, white, and blue ribbons based on how well they follow the scientific method.
And they can carry these projects forward to the actual 4-H fair that's held in the first week in August.
Right, depending on what subject area they're talking about, with all the projects that we have, it probably follows one of our 120 projects that they can possibly learn about.
Right.
And we're hoping to build the science fair for future years, to have many of the Kendall County, and it's open to other areas as well. Schools, kind of buy in and have their kids that they really feel would benefit from doing a project like that, have them really promote that and have their kids enter the fair. It will be a great experience for the kids. And we're also going to be offering a workshop so that kids can learn about the scientific method. So on March 13th at Parkview Christian, we'll be offering the 3 levels workshop. 4th and 5th graders, I'll be leading that activity. The kids will do an activity called Biofuel Blast. Well, they'll learn how to apply that experiment to the scientific method.
And what time? How do people register for this? Or so let's talk about that, so they kind of know what's next.
Registration is open now. You can go to our website, or you can go to goillinois.edu/DKK4H, and they can register right on the website, and it gives them all the information at that point as to whether they'd like to participate in the workshop in addition to doing the fair. And like I said, the student packet that gives the basic rules so that they know what's expected of them.
Are you reaching out to the other schools to let them know that this project time is available for
Absolutely.
the kids to
Absolutely.
get involved
I have
in?
the benefit of having worked with many of the teachers in the Kendall County area, so we've let them all know. They seem to be excited about that opportunity for their students.
Okay, and once again, the dates are?
April 26th is the actual community science fair that will be open to the public.
Okay.
Projects will be turned in the 24th and the 25th. On the 25th, the judges will judge the projects. Then the kids will come on the 26th and stand by their projects, so that when the spectators come and see all the wonderful projects, they can talk to the audience as well. And then we'll have our awards ceremony on Thursday, April 26th.
Right, and that, again, it gives those kids an excellent opportunity to stand up there and maybe defend their own scientific view, or say, you know what, this didn't work out as well as I hoped. But you know what, there's nothing wrong with failure.
No, that's how they learn.
Failure is one of the things that I've learned is right next to revenge for me. Okay, so let's move on. You also are going to be doing something special during spring break here in Kendall County, and I think this is going to be a lot of fun. So why don't we talk about that?
So we do this every year, where we offer workshops. We kind of try to find out what are kids interested in, what would they like to learn about. And in Kendall County, it will be March 26th through the 29th. There are several different opportunities for them to learn a lot of craft type things. There'll be the watercoloring. They're going to do some dog caricatures, where I think the kids will bring in a picture of their dog and they can do a caricature of their dog. We're actually going to be working with the Red Cross, and we're trying to get that into the schedule to do a pillowcase project. And that is kind of a survival type of thing, where the Red Cross will share ideas about being prepared. And I'll be learning on the go too. That's something that's new for me too.
Now, when you talk about being prepared, I mean, are we talking about being prepared for a tornado, a life-changing event such as something like that?
Any emergency. So I believe that the pillowcase is something that you use to put items in for your own survival in case of an emergency.
Right.
But I'm learning about it on the spot as well.
You know, but you know what? That's a good thing, because in my basement, in a cupboard, in a plastic bag, I keep an extra set of clothing, a toothbrush, some soap, I don't keep medication down there, but you know, with the new weather service things that they have out, I also have a bag that I keep close by that I can throw in checkbooks, my important bookkeeping things, my computer, my phone, and get to the basement in 2 minutes if I have to.
Yeah.
And I think that's just, and I always keep extra water in the basement, stuff like that, yeah.
Right, I'm sure we'll be learning about all of those things.
Maybe I could come and tell you what to do.
Sounds good. Sounds good. I'm anxious to hear how it all works. But
yeah,
we like to partner with as many local organizations as we possibly can to work with the 4-Hers. And this is open to anybody. You don't have to be in 4-H to participate in the workshop. So again, you'll go to our website and you'll be able to register for the different programs. And each of them are separate, although we try to schedule them so every day, if you want to have your child there for the bulk of the day, they can stay and do 2 or 3 in the same day.
Right. You know, I think that is, you know, preparedness is so good. But I also want to talk about, you know, there's some budding artists in this county, and then we got some first of all, we got some excellent artists. But I think a class on watercolor, and you guys are going to supply all the paints and the canvas and everything that they're going to need to do a picture. And, you know, I've never known a kid who doesn't like to draw.
No, they're very creative, and if you go to the county fair and you go into the Smith Hall, you'll see all the projects, the visual arts projects that 4-Hers do. And, you know, now with the use of computers and different programs, they can do a lot of things.
Right, and I mean, you know, just taking a trip through the Kendall County Historic Courthouse, you know, they feature 4 or 5 different artists all year long, local artists whose artistry hang there, and it's obviously for sale. Some of it's amazing.
Yes.
You know.
And they start young.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, some kids are born with talent. Other kids, it's a learned thing, but it's amazing what kids, if they have an interest, what they can do with it.
Absolutely.
Quilting. You're going to do some quilting lessons. And that's another thing. I mean, the quilt shops that have blossomed all over, and the people who can do that now. I mean, you know, you're not making a dress or a pair of slacks. You're basically, you know, if you're going to do it machine-wise, you're kind of basically going in straight lines.
Right.
Let's talk about that. Are you a quilter?
I am not a quilter.
I have
so
no
again,
talent,
I'd have to go and learn because although I know that it's more popular now than it has been in the past.
I mean, it's as popular now as it was 75 years ago when the women got together. Yeah.
Right. Right.
Yeah, and you know what? That's I've actually got no talent for that whatsoever. You know, my mother was a very good sewer, but the women who do that, and it's the people who get together and do that, and I've even heard it like now in some of these quilting groups, some of the gentlemen will come and they will, you know, they'll cut the squares or cut the patterns.
Right.
You know?
They can participate. Absolutely.
Yeah. You know,
absolutely.
they hate to miss the gossip, so you know it's it just all works. So who's going to be teaching the quilting class?
Well, I'm so glad you asked that because we, you know, 4-H is very volunteer based.
Right.
So, you know, I'm lucky I get to work for 4-H, but we really count on our volunteers, and they're fantastic. So we have a variety of volunteers, everything from, you know, retired senior citizens to some of our youth that just want to share what they love, and they come in and lead classes. Whatever they're interested in.
Did you ever get a hold of a gal by the name of Linda Augsburg?
Not me personally, but the name does sound familiar.
She is a professional quilter, and in fact was an editor of a quilting magazine.
Oh.
And she lives locally, and I think getting a hold of Linda could be a big benefit to. And she was a 4-H'er her whole life. So in Kendall County.
She understands the value of 4-H.
She does,
then.
so she would definitely
Absolutely.
understand it. So I'm going to give you her number before I leave
terrific.
today.
Great.
And that's going to be on the 26th and the 28th from 1 until 4.
Right. There are a variety of times for the classes. So
is it if you went on the 26th, do you come back on the 27th? Or is it just one class?
it's one class, so
Just
you register for
repeatedly.
whatever sessions you're interested in.
So if I didn't do well on the first one, I could come back and try the second one.
Or
Yeah,
try
it's
something
kinda
different.
like,
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
That's good. In the same way with the watercolor, that you're just doing that one time.
Right.
That's on the
Right.
28th from 10:30 to noon. Yep. That, you know, and I'd say that's probably a good enough time because you know what, you can only do that so long. You know.
Right.
And then your dog caricatures, that's March 27th, 10 o'clock till noon, and again on Thursday, 2 to 4.
Right.
So that's 2 separate classes,
Correct.
really covering the same thing. All the supplies are furnished,
Right.
so even for the quilting.
I believe so.
Okay,
Yes.
you know, you can't beat that. Is there a cost for this?
There are some costs, and those will be listed on the registration.
Okay.
We try really hard to keep our costs down because we want it to be open to anybody who really has an interest.
Okay. You know, that's not bad. You know, when you have to have a teacher and you have all the supplies furnished, moms don't have to go out and do the shopping to get it all
Right.
done, to bring it all together. You know, that's worth. I mean, your time is money.
That's right.
It really is.
That's right.
Okay, and then you're going to do a melted crayon artwork. That should be interesting. Tell me about that.
You know, again, I'm going to learn on the spot, but I have seen some of the things that they do, and they're beautiful.
Yeah.
It's basically, I think you just melt the crayon and it creates a design of some sort.
And would be kind of a thicker
I think
thing
so.
like that, and then as
little
it
bit more
cools,
textured.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. You have some
And-
small pictures there. You probably could see that on the website.
And that's actually that one is led by a 4-H member. So again, we're so happy that we're able to work with older 4-H members, and we have a group called 4-H Science Ambassadors, Science and Health Ambassadors, and those kids, and also our 4-H Federation, they learn a lot of leadership, they learn a lot about teaching, and they come and help in a variety of ways. Like I have after-school programs where some of the 4-H ambassadors will come and they will actually help lead the lesson with me. And that's teaching them a even higher level of skills and presentation skills and leadership and teaching. So
Patience.
absolutely.
Yeah, I've always been a little bit short on that. I probably could have used that course. You know, and this melted crayon thing, and you use a heat gun
I think so.
to melt the crayons. That's interesting. You know, it's probably something, if you kind of looked at it, you could probably figure, and some of the pictures that you show here, and obviously they're too small to show on television, absolutely positively beautiful.
Beautiful. It's pretty.
Really, really are.
Very nice.
And the pillowcase project, that's what date?
We haven't firmed up the date yet.
Okay.
So we will be working directly with the Red Cross to find the best time, and that one is for 8 to 11-year-olds. So it's for younger kids to learn about being prepared.
You know what? And there's no message that can be transferred better to a parent than like a 9-year-old. Mom, because they're great naggers.
They'll tell us.
And I'll tell you what, and they'll get it done. You know, you get that one age group, they get it in their head, and that's kind of how that is.
Absolutely.
You know, the plant sale is coming up.
Yes.
And I'm telling you, I think I was just telling Joanne before we got here, I said I always get to the plant sale. It starts at 9, I get there at 5 after everybody else is already in line, and 3/4 of the stuff is sold. You got to get there early.
Right,
You
and
gotta,
it's very,
you gotta
very
pick it
popular.
Out.
It's
It
very
is.
popular.
It is amazingly popular. And what day is that?
That is Saturday, May 19th, and so save the date. Come on over to the Extension Office just down Route 47, and there's just a great variety. And the Master Gardeners, with our Master Gardener coordinator, they all plan that, and they do a great job.
Yeah, and I'm kind of teasing that stuff is all gone. That's not really true, but I mean, you would think it is by the way people are hauling stuff out of there.
Right.
And some unique plants. I mean, plants that you just wouldn't think would thrive or grow or even would be pretty. And they show you the picture of somebody's garden.
Right. Well, the Master Gardeners are trained, so they can answer questions as to where the plant should be. And I'm not a gardener, so I would ask a lot of questions if I was buying.
Yeah.
So they're there. They're kind of the experts to answer the questions and to help you along with whatever you're interested in gardening.
Yeah, the gardening thing, I've been a little bit, that's another thing. I've been a failure at so many things in my life. That's what I said, failure and revenge.
Well, some things are meant for some people and not for others.
Two driving forces in my life. Okay, we're going to take a little bit of a break, Joanne, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk a little bit more about some of the opportunities with the 4-H, the home extension, and what some of the great programs are. If you've got a child or a grandchild that you need to get busy over this upcoming spring vacation time, spring break they call it. We used to call it Easter break, but we can't do that anymore. I just think it's a great idea. 4-H has just always been one of my favorite things to talk about. So we're going to take a break. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. Stick with us.
So I just moved in with this family, and it's embarrassing. The little one, he likes to go outside and crawl around in the giant litter box. I don't know what he's doing. I mean, I was born and I knew how to use the litter box. Look at that. That's disgusting. Oh, poop already. You're making me nervous. Oh, okay, I can't look at this anymore. I really hope he grows out of this, for his sake.
Oh, thank you. Did you see anyone's broccoli? Thanks for helping us.
No problem.
Is this your bird? You're welcome.
We'd do anything for kids. Yet 1 in 6 children in the U.S. struggle with hunger. Help end childhood hunger near you. Learn how at feedingamerica.org.
Your son wants to get a cat,
I'll really take care of it.
but you're allergic. Do you A, prepare yourself, B, make the best of it,
C squared equals
25.
Good job.
or C, find a loophole? When it comes to parenting, there are no perfect answers, but that's okay, because you don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. Teens in foster care will love you just the same.
Welcome back to Fox Valley Today. I'm your host, Anne Vickery. I'm joined here today with Joanne Britton, who is a University of Illinois Extension educator, and we've been talking about all these different programs that are going on that your kids can attend or you can get involved in to be a helper. And you know, we talked a lot about Kendall County. Well, we should bring up what's going to go on up in DuPage County too.
Right. DuPage County also has a series of spring break workshops. A lot of them are science focused, but a new and exciting one is about 3D printing. We'll talk a little bit more about that later too. I know they have some math workshops, and again, you can just go to our website and it lists, I believe there's 6 different workshops that the kids, beginning robotics, which is another very popular activity for kids and great way for kids to learn about programming and just exploring and learning and learning how to do some things that maybe we didn't in our generation have that opportunity.
Well, when they talk about self-driving cars, it's a robot.
Mm-hmm.
When you watch, if you've got a chance to watch any of the Olympics where they have the robots skiing downhill, that was an absolute riot to watch that. And I mean, you know, kids get involved in that.
They're not
Kids
afraid. They're not
not.
afraid to learn, so they're not afraid to make mistakes. And we've already talked about failures. That's really how you learn. You're trying
right.
something. If it works, great. If not, you're moving on to learn why it didn't work. And
Right.
critical thinking, that's an important way for kids to learn and to promote their further education as well.
And how would people get a hold of, how would people get more information about the DuPage?
You can go right onto our website.
And you might want to repeat that again.
Okay, there's several different. It's web.extension.illinois.edu, and then we're DKK, so that's DuPage, Kane, and Kendall County. We're Unit 5. We do coordinate amongst the 3 counties, and we help each other. My role, there are 3 of us, 1 in each county. 6 of us, 2 in each county. As 4-H program coordinators. So
Right.
we help to run some of these types of out-of-school programs. I also do some in-school programs, work pretty closely with many of the Kendall County schools here. Just go to our website. If you put in University of Illinois Extension, it'll come up, and then
Right,
pick
and,
the county that you're
You
in.
know, and if you put in Kendall County 4-H, you Google that. I
Right,
mean, you know,
it'll
you're
come
gonna,
up.
they're gonna,
It'll-
it's gonna
it'll-
take you to some website that you're gonna get that information on, because, you know, the problem with the government, hear me picking on them again, but they make everything too difficult. You know, websites are extraordinarily long. People, you know.
Right, just plug in what you're interested in, it'll come up.
What are you interested in, go from there.
Absolutely.
You know, the other thing I wanted to bring up here, one of the things that you got going on this summer, is the Illini Summer Academy.
Right.
And is that something new?
No, they've had it for several years. It's open to ages 14 through 18. It's really kind of an exploratory process for kids to go down to the university. It's June 24th through June 28th. And they can go down to the university and explore what their area of interest is. I think there's over 20 categories and things that they can study: animal veterinarian type things, microbiology, all kinds of different things that they can study.
Oh, molecular and cellular biology.
Right.
That'd be my first choice.
There you go.
Yeah.
And it's kind of an intense study of that area, and it also introduces them to the University of Illinois. so that they get to know the campus, they get to know whether or not maybe they want to go to college there. So we just found out, we just got all the information about that, and again, that will be on our websites, or you can call us at the Kendall County Extension Office and we'll talk with you. It's open to 4-H members and non-4-H members, and I see our website is up on the screen now, so that's
Right.
the easiest way to get a hold of us.
And you know, the other thing, this is not a free course.
No.
I can see where, for instance, companion animal nutrition and pet manufacturing, the cost is $370. But that includes what, 3 or 4 nights?
Yes, you're
staying
there.
on campus.
Food.
Food, somebody watching over you, teaching you.
And there are scholarships available. So
yeah.
when you get the information, if you're interested, you know, we try to do our best so that you can get to do what's going to be great for your education.
Yeah, anthropology, electrical, computer, and engineering, exploring human development and family studies. I could maybe use that one. Great challenge in family studies. So that would be another good one for me. Game design. A lot of kids love that.
Absolutely.
Storytelling and fabrication. I'm pretty good at fabrication. Honeybees and beekeeping, that wouldn't be for me, but molecular and cellular biology, plant biology, exploring life beneath our feet, work hard, play hard, careers in health, science, sports, and wellness, veterinarian medicine, hip-hop dancing. 3 days of that, they'll be in good shape and
That's
tire
right.
them out.
That's right.
Fashion design, theater and fashion design. I think that's just absolutely positively amazing that those kinds of things are available for these kids. And how would you apply for a scholarship for something like
Well,
that?
once you contact us, we can give you information about where the scholarships are available and how to go about that.
Have you ever gone down to this?
I haven't.
You
no.
haven't. It evidently is a pretty popular thing, though, that they continue to have it. And you know, I think this is a good way of exposing kids to college,
Absolutely.
the campus, the whole feel of what it's like to bunk in with a whole bunch
Right.
of people, live together in the same kind of dormitories. And again, they can call their local extension office to get more information on that. It's called Illini Summer Academies, and it's sponsored by the University of Illinois extension offices here.
Yeah.
Now, what else have we missed here today, Joanne?
Well, I'd like to talk a little bit about what we call spin clubs. So
Right.
many of you are probably familiar with the traditional 4-H community club. You know, fabulous experience. Kids are meeting monthly. They run their own meetings with elected officers. They decide what community services they'd like to do. They work on project work. They show at the fair. About maybe 10 or 12 years ago, we started what's called a special interest club, a 4-H special interest club. Calling it a spin club, special, SP, interest, IN. And what it is we work directly with volunteers who have an interest in one particular subject area.
Right.
So for instance, currently we have a poultry spin club going on. They meet actually at the extension office. They're meeting once a month for 6 months, and they're talking about poultry, how to hatch chicks, how to take care of chicks, if you're interested in showing chicks. And we have our poultry fair superintendent who leads that club because that is her specialty.
Right.
What I'm really excited about is that we are going to be offering a 3D printing
That
spin
should
club.
be interesting.
And that's going to be starting in October. And so again, check our website, and registration information will be available. But if it's led by somebody who just loves 3D printing, I've seen some of these 3D printers working. They are absolutely amazing. The other day I was learning a little bit about it, made a 3D name tag.
No kidding.
And they were making cell phone holders and cell phone cases. And the kids are actually designing this on their own. So it's
Okay.
a fabulous opportunity.
Get your child or grandchild involved in 4-H. There's so much to learn. Joanne, thank you very much for joining Fox Valley today.
Thank you for having me.
We're going to look forward to seeing you again later in the spring. You can tell us all about it.
That sounds great.
All right. Thanks for joining Fox Valley today. We'll see you next time.